Today we are continuing our measurement unit by looking at length. Please copy down the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will choose an appropriate measuring device and unit to solve problems involving measurements of length. This two rules. So this is a section of a customary ruler or a standard ruler. It measures length. The marking on the ruler is divided into inches. Each inch is divided into halves, quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. So if you look at the letters they've marked here, A shows 1/16 of 1 inch, that's the shortest line. B shows 1/8 of 1 inch. C shows 1/4 of 1 inch. D shows 1/2, and E shows 1 inch exactly. So looking at what does F show, how many inches, we know it's past the 3, so it's at least 3 full inches. And then how many parts of an inch. So we look, and it's past the quarter, and we know it's on one of the sixteenths. So we're just going to count up our sixteenths. And we count all the lines. So it goes 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, and 5/16. So we get 3 and 5/16 inches. And then asks us, what does G show? Okay, so we know it's 4 whole inches, so we're going to write the 4 down first. Then we have to figure out how many parts of an inch. We know it's past the half, but it's not quite up to 3/4. So we know it's going to be on one of the eighths. So we're going to count the eighth lines. You always count the lines you're working with, plus the ones that are taller than it. So right here is 1/8, 2/8, which is also known as 1/4, 3/8, then 4/8, which is also known as 1/2, and then 5/8. So G is at 4 and 5/8 inches. And it's really important throughout our entire measurement unit and throughout math as a whole to make sure you are labeling your units correctly. So we had to label this one inches. Directions. Look at the ruler below. For each letter, write the measurement that is shown. So if we start with A here, we can look and we can see the A is on the first 1/4 line. So we know it's 1/4 of an inch. B, we can tell, is greater than 1 inch, and we can tell it's on the 16ths. So we're going to count the lines. So we have 1/16, 2/16, and then 3/16. So B is 1 and 3/16 inches. For C, we know it's past 1 inch, but it's not up to 2 inches. And we can tell it's sitting on one of the quarter lines. So we're going to count 1/4, 2/4, which is also 1/2, and then 3/4. So we get 1 and 3/4 inches. For D, we know we're past 3 inches. We can tell the D is sitting on the eighths line. So if we look, it's on the first eighth line. So we know we have 3 and 1/8 inches. For E, we're past the 4 inches and almost up to the 5 inches. So we know it's sitting on the 16ths. And we can either count all the lines and count up, or we can tell it's 1/16 away from 5. So we know it's going to be 4 and 15/16. It's the same thing if you get 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 6/16, 7/16, 8/16, also 1/2. 9/16, 10/16, 11/16, 12/16, 13/16, 14/16, and then 15/16. So we have 4 and 15/16 inches. Then for F, if we look, we can see it's past 5 inches and it's on the half mark. So we're at 5 and 1/2 inches. For this next section, you're going to need your ruler at home, and you're going to use it to find the length of each item to the nearest 1/16 of an inch. When using a ruler, it's really important first to check and see where the 0 is. On this ruler, it's not the end of the ruler. On some rulers, it is. You have to check where it is so you know where to start lining up. So we're going to bring this up. We're going to line up so the 0 is at the very tip. And then you're going to measure. Right, and you're going to need to do this at home because things have been stretched out on the smartboard, so the measurements aren't going to line up. But make sure you do just like I did. Take this, make sure you line up the 0 and figure out where it ends. And then I will give you a minute to go ahead and pause the video here, and then I will have the answers up when you hit play again on the next section. So, as you can see, 1 is 1 and 13/16 inches, 2 is 1 and 11/16 inches, and 3 is 1 and 15/16 inches. If you got within 1/16 of an inch, your measuring is accurate and you're doing well. So please make sure you have all the answers copied down, glue this page in your math notebook, and tomorrow we'll continue working on length.